and I am a doctor. Not a real one with a PhD though. I'm one of those pretendy ones that gives you medicines and tries to make you feel better. I treat your athlete's food and I look after your sick granny. So when I decided that I was going to come here and do Bright Club tonight, I told my colleagues, and some of them said, "You're mad." And they might be right. Some of them said, "Oh, you're really brave." And I thought to myself, I'm not being brave, this is just, it's public speaking, I can do this. So I went away and I thought, and I have prepared, and I realised that this is not just public speaking, because something really important happened to me last year. Last year, I turned 40. Now, I thought I was being really well adjusted to being 40, I was not having a midlife crisis. I did not get a shitload of Botox. I didn't buy an unsuitable car. I didn't sign up to run an ultramarathon. I was doing just fine. But I realised I'm not, because I am having a midlife crisis. This is my midlife crisis here tonight, and you are all getting to take part in it, so I hope you enjoy it. So, as I said, I'm a doctor. And I really am the kind of doctor that looks after people. I used to work as a GP. And I could just take the easy route out tonight and tell you funny stories about things that patients have said and done, but that would be completely unethical. So I am not going to tell you about the man who stabbed himself in the thigh while trying to open a packet of bacon in the dark with a screwdriver. I am not going to tell you about him, because that would be wrong. I'm definitely not going to tell you about the woman who caused great excitement in the department because her legs had turned blue, both of them, until we took her socks off and her feet were white. And actually the blue wiped off. She'd been caught in the rain the day before with new jeans on. I'm not going to tell you stories like that. What I'm going to talk about tonight is about medicines, because medicines is what I do now in my current job. Medicines have been around for a long, long time. We human beings have been looking for things to make ourselves feel better for thousands and thousands of years. We have been drinking things, eating things, smoking things, snorting things, rubbing things on our skin, and in moments of desperation, shoving them up our bum. Now, some of these experiments have not worked, and we'll just put them down to the side, but some of them have been successful. The most successful of these experiments, well, not so successful for the person who actually takes the medicine, because that's when you've discovered a poison. Poisons are excellent medicines, you can use them to kill people you don't like. I'm not going to tell you about them tonight, I don't want to give you any ideas. The other type of medicines, if your experiment is successful, might actually make you feel better. I say might, because they're not 100%, they're not that good. But over the years, we've kept experimenting, and we've developed lists of thousands of things that we can use as medicines. Even in the 17th century, they had really long lists called pharmacopoeia of things that you could use to try and make people feel better, or things that you could do while you were waiting for them to die. So, these lists were very long, and some of the things on the list you would recognise today as a medicine. We even use some of them still. So opium, for instance, it's where we get fun stuff like morphine and heroin. So that was on the list. Then there's more dangerous sounding things. Arsenic, for one. You'll be pleased to know I have never prescribed arsenic. And then there are just the downright weird. Things like the moss from the skull of somebody who's recently died in battle and been left unburied. Still not found a reason to prescribe that, but I live in hope. So moving forward a bit in time, we come to my favourite historical remedy. Now this one's for drowning. It comes from around about the 1700s, 1800s. Now if you drown these days, if you're lucky enough to be pulled out of the water, someone will give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and it tends to be quite effective. But before we discovered mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, we needed to find another stimulating way of bringing people back to life. And tobacco was all the rage at the time. So that was where the tobacco enema came in. Literally blowing smoke up your ass. But don't worry, this is not mouth-to-butt resuscitation. There were little bellows just for the purpose. Picture it, little bellows. And they lived in little boxes where people might drown, much like you might find a life raft today. I've also never had to do mouth-to-bum resuscitation. So, as a GP, I had lots and lots of patients to see and lots of decisions to make about medicines and what medicine I should give to people. I hate making decisions. Now, I know some of the more astute amongst you are thinking, well, why did she become a GP if she doesn't like making decisions? Well, you'd be right. That's a story for another night. That's my pre-midlife crisis. And now I find myself doing another job because making decisions really wasn't for me. One of the kind of best illustrations of why I find it difficult making decisions about prescriptions actually happened in the supermarket once. I was in the toilet roll aisle, to be precise. And I was standing there, and it should be easy to buy toilet roll on the list, toilet roll on the shelf, easy purchase. But no, I thought to myself, but which is the right toilet roll for my family? I could just go by the wording on the label. Soft, softer, softest. Fair enough, you get what you pay for. But it's more complicated than that. There are issues of structure to consider. 2-ply, 4-ply, quilted, very fancy. And then there's the extra ingredients. Things like shea butter, aloe vera, and for the hipsters among us, avocado toilet roll. Who knew? And that's before you even get to the weird outliers. The moist toilet tissue in the environmentally disastrous plastic box. And then that funny scratchy stuff that we used to use as tracing paper at primary school. They still sell that. That means people are still buying that stuff. What are they doing with it? Because it is rubbish for wiping bottoms. So anyway, I just picked up what I always buy. That's what everyone does. And that's what doctors do too. Quite a lot of the time when they don't know which medicine's best, they just pick the one that they always do. But what if it's not the right one? That's what used to really worry me as a GP. And now, what I do in my job is I test medicines against each other to try and work out which one really is the best one. And the way that we do that is with clinical trials. And I work in a large department at Ninewells. Several of my colleagues are here. And we run clinical trials to compare medicines. Now, I will admit that I wasn't really sure what the job entailed before I took it. I just needed a job. And my idea of what a clinical trial involved was probably based more on science fiction than reality. I had a vision of myself as a clinical trials doctor, nice white coat. Obviously I looked like Scarlett Johansson. I'd be walking around a shiny modern lab. All the patients would be healthy young volunteers who looked suspiciously like a young Brad Pitt. And I would be administering really high-tech chemicals intravenously. It is nothing like that. To my husband's eternal disappointment, I did not turn into Scarlett Johansson overnight when I took that job. I don't even work in a lab, I work in an office. My job involves emails and spreadsheets. And the patients, I don't even know what they look like, because we do remote clinical trials, and I never meet thousands of them. But it is fun. And there is fun to be had in clinical trials. The best fun probably happened last week when we discovered that one of the trials that we were planning, this is a huge trial, millions of pounds, thousands of patients. The name for the trial, already taken, by a porn website. So I'm really glad that people pay me to run clinical trials, because no one's going to pay me to run toilet roll trials, at least not yet. So anyway, that's been my midlife crisis. I hope you've enjoyed it and it's not been too painful. Thank you.